can't go wrong with Now It's Dark.
Hey everybody, are you insane like me? Ooh, well, then you might like this movie on Tubi. It's also streaming on the Roku channel. You can pay $3.99 on Amazon Prime. Not sure why you would do that. This movie, Insane Like Me, is a 2024 film, 1 hour and 26 minutes, which is pretty good. It is a horror mystery thriller, and it stars Eric Roberts. That Eric Roberts. So that's cool. That's a good thing. Combat veteran returns home after duty, duty, wrongly convicted for girlfriend's disappearance. After 9 years in asylum, he's released, seeking truth and vengeance regarding her fate. Directed by Chip Joslin, written by Britt Bankhead and Chip Joslin, and starring Britt Bankhead as our lead character, Jake Morgan. His girlfriend, Samantha Davis, was played by Grace Patterson. Her father, the sheriff, Sheriff Davis, was played by the Eric Roberts. Crystal Davis, played by Samantha Reddy, is Grace's sister, much younger sister, and Eric Roberts' youngest daughter. And we have Will Davis, Jake's friend, Samantha's brother, Crystal's brother, and Sheriff Davis's son, played by Paul Holker, and he has a girlfriend named Erica, played by Maria Wetherell, and then there's some other people in this too. And Britt Bankhead is kind of a beefy dude, a handsome guy. Um, Another synopsis of this has it tagged as a supernatural thriller about a combat veteran who returns home after a tour of duty overseas. He becomes the lead suspect in his girlfriend's disappearance and is subsequently wrongly convicted and incarcerated. 9 years later, he is released from the mental asylum. He returns home to find the truth and settle the score. So, yeah, this movie, I don't think I'm spoiling it because if you look at that poster, you can see there are fangs on that chick's in her mouth. She's got fangs. So when they say supernatural, you can take that to mean vampire. So this ended up being a vampire movie. Also, the letter N has that little stabby point that could be a stake or one of two fangs. So, yeah. So, Britt, Jake Morgan comes home. It's Halloween. He's with his girlfriend, with his friend Will, and his girlfriend Erica. I have to keep looking because the names are forgettable. And they are going to go to like this haunted, abandoned hotel massacre place, the Glen Hotel. It's the Massacre Hotel. It's got this lore of hundreds of missing people. And I don't. They kind of make it sound like the people go missing at the hotel, but it really should be that they go missing in the town. Because if it was really directed to the hotel, that would be demolished. If 200 people over the course of years, and this is one of these stories that has like a year's or like hundreds of years worth of story lore to it. I'm making it way more confusing than I need to. So they go to this hotel, the Massacre Hotel. They are going to go there for whatever reason because it's Halloween, and when they go inside, it turns out to be a big welcome home surprise party for Jake. There's all these other people there, friends and whoever knows. And yeah, so he's taken off guard. He's a little like he does a decent job of kind of portraying like a very intense, like maybe PTSD. He doesn't like surprises kind of thing. So they're mingling, they're doing their things. And then just out of nowhere, which is really weird, it was very edited. It was edited as badly as the way I'm speaking during this video at this point. There's a news paranormal guy outside with his camera person filming, like they're going to go in to the Massacre Hotel and see if there's any paranormal activity. So they go inside just for there to be like all these people in a big party, and the guy's like, of all the nights we decide to come here, there's a party going on. The town riffraff are here partying. Now they name dropped at the beginning of the movie that it was Halloween, so I don't know how surprised you would be to go to a hotel or wherever that has this history to it, that you would find people in on Halloween, whatever. They get approached by two very hot, voluptuous chicks who flirt and make sure that they know if they need anything, those chicks are there for them and they will take care of whatever they need. And I think you know what they need, because a little bit later, uh, they kind of get a little sidetracked. They decide to do some paranormal investigation, and these two girls bump into them again, and they decide to take them into a room, and then all out vamp craziness, vampires everywhere. Party is a bust. Everybody is getting bitten, and it's very, very weird. It's just such a weird situation that goes on. So Jake makes it out. It's kind of left unclear whether or not Will and his girlfriend did, but they show up later, so they obviously did. Samantha, however, did not. She is missing. They never pronounce her dead. Even after 9 years, she's just always missing. And I'm pretty sure after 7 years, you can legally declare someone as dead. Anyways, it doesn't fit the story narrative, so there you go. So the sheriff, Davis, obviously upset that his daughter is missing, kind of takes it out on Jake. And Eric Roberts is, good at these kind of roles. This role was perfect for him, and he does it well. He is getting up there in age, though, but he's got that classic, iconic voice and demeanor of how he plays. Kind of like he never really plays a good guy, and even though he's the sheriff, he's really not like a good guy, if that makes sense. So then we just all of a sudden are introduced to Jake being in like this really dungy crap hole of a insane asylum or criminally insane place, and uh, we get like a time lapsed kind of thing relatively quickly. He's treated badly by the people that work there. He's grown a beard and his hair is all shaggy, and then it's time for him to be released. I guess you only get 9 years for that kind of activity, because there's no body. He can't be convicted of killing or murder. So the best that Sheriff Davis could do was to get him committed, and then the 9 years was up. So he goes back to the town, um, and yeah, he kind of goes full Punisher mode. We have like a very um, non-contextual um, clips of him working out, having guns. Uh, he's like, all I could think of was that he turned into the Punisher, and he's got himself kind of in a bunker, and he's just got guns, and we see him carrying a body out of his trunk at one point, and we don't see any of the actual activity, what he's doing, but he's trying to get to the bottom of the disappearance of Samantha. But, whatever. Then he happens to notice the story kind of shifts gear from that, and we're introduced to Crystal Davis, Samantha, the missing daughter, the sister, is in college. She's at a library. She's doing research. We get a whole bunch of information because of the research that she's doing. So on the screen, we get some gaps filled in about the hotel itself and all the missing people. Um, Three of her friends show up. talk her into leaving. She's got to go to work, but they're going to meet up after. So she goes to this bar that she works at, and there's like two old farts there sitting at the bar. But then in comes Jake, who doesn't know that she works there, doesn't recognize her because she was much younger 9 years ago than she's a college student now. Crystal, however, does recognize her, and they have a very odd interaction. And it's weird because I don't know that it's like how you would react to seeing the person that's suspected of making your sister be gone, disappeared, but she treats him fine. They have an interesting interaction, and the two old farts recognize him, call the sheriff. The sheriff shows up, punches him. Will now is a deputy. So, because we jumped 9 years from when he was just friends, now he's the deputy. So, him and dad are like the badasses in town. There's a very fun interaction between the sister, Crystal, and the brother, now Deputy Will. And I won't spoil it, but it's a fun Easter egg. So if you do watch this, also listen for that. And then, yeah, so uh, they go to the party in the woods afterwards, and then we have all crazy vampire stuff happening. Jake comes to save the day. He must have tracked down that this was where all the vamps were going to be. And then it gets a little off the rails. So that's probably about as much of the story as I'm going to share, because it does pick up action wise. It gets a little better. We get some more Eric Roberts being his Eric Roberts persona. Crystal Davis, the character played by Samantha Reddy, is not hard to watch. Her friend Josie is also not very difficult to watch. So if you want to see some eye candy, they're good. The acting is just mid, it's okay. Um, these types of movies, the vampires are not like so great. There's a character in this that's kind of the big bad. I haven't even mentioned because I don't want to spoil that reveal. But the ending has like multiple layers of twists and reveals that are kind of fun. So for a movie that you may feel like giving up on in the first 15-20 minutes, if you hold out, there's kind of some fun payoffs at the end. Um, so it's not like a horrible, it's a Tubi level vampire kind of movie where the vampire part is very light and not um, like super threatening. It doesn't ever feel very super threatening. But they do acknowledge vampire lore, and that like Jake knows the rules, how to kill, how to do all that stuff. So yeah, and then we find out what happened to Samantha by the end of the movie. So this is on Tubi. What is it called again? Insane Like Me. Check it out. Let me know in the comments down below if you've seen this or heard of it, and keep coming back to the channel for more great stuff.